All right, Take 3 Wrestling Podcast here on a Sunday night. As always, I'm your host, Earnest, coming to you in late August. I am depressed because tomorrow school starts and middle schooling sucks. I know it's going to suck bad. Anyway, this podcast is going to keep my mind off of things for now. Joined, of course, here by Mike Bernier and Joe Lopez, as always, every week. We try to every week anyway. Fellas, what's up?
I'm about to be 37 in like 47 minutes.
You are so... You are so... At this podcast, right. By the end part.
We might still be on the podcast when the clock strikes.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
You're old.
I am. I'm so old, I wasn't able to watch any wrestling this week.
Okay, should we explain it to our listeners? Because I imagine they're going to be expecting a recap of SummerSlam, a recap of TakeOver, but our good friend here, Joe Lopez, unfortunately was not able to watch anything this weekend. Huh?
Hi, everybody. Hi, guys.
Who's that?
No, he said hi, guys, because you said our good friend, Mr. Joe Lopez.
Oh, yeah.
Hello to everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Joe, bro.
So, Joe, well, look, life happens. I ain't going to judge Joe. Life happens. You know, birthday weekend, of course, life happens. And sometimes wrestling, even though it's something we love like wrestling, has to be put on the back burner. It just kind of goes on this. Huh?
Did you go on a booze cruise?
No, I did not. No, we stuck around just Maine, doing Maine things.
All right, we're going on a booze cruise when I come.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
How about instead of a booze cruise, we go on a puppies cruise? But not like a Jerry Lawler puppies because I'm gay, but like an actual puppies because I like puppies.
See, the thing is, you're gay and I'm married, so the Jerry Lawler effect won't really work.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like you can't.
You're gay, I'll be killed. It doesn't work.
Right, exactly.
So, on top of everything else, Joe not being able to watch any of the pay-per-views this weekend, and even Dynamite, he also doesn't want any spoilers. So we're going to do that for him. No spoilers. So instead...
That's my birthday gift. I appreciate that.
Yes, yeah, exactly. There's your gift from the show here. So this show will be solely a nostalgic show.
I mean, can we appreciate how hard it is in the year 2020 to actually avoid spoilers for big shows? I know nothing that's happened on TakeOver, and I know nothing that's happened on SummerSlam, and I think it's impressive.
Well, again,
if you open up your email right now, you'll get 3 spoilers probably.
Of course,
I will not do that.
And if you follow WWE on social media or any
I haven't gone on social media in the last 2 hours.
Well, there you go. You gotta keep it off until you watch the shows.
Hold on. And you missed all of TakeOver. You haven't been on in the last 2 hours. That's impressive.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Really impressive. Because most of the time you'll catch somebody will share something on Instagram. And you're like, God damn it.
It is really tough for me to keep my mouth shut. Now I will do it obviously, but. Man, I have so many wrestling takes I want to get off my chest right now after this weekend.
I mildly spoiled one thing for Joe, but it did not spoil the outcome of the match, and that was the injury to Karrion Kross in the NXT title match.
Oh, okay. Well, and more has happened since then. I may have actually somewhat spoiled something in a text. I'm not thinking. I don't know. That's not a spoiler really necessarily, but I don't know. Anyway, so no recaps here on the show. We'll probably at some point next week do something with that.
I'll watch him by tomorrow. We can talk about him next week.
Yeah, if we can somehow, what we can do is if we can somehow record segments of this, what we'll do for our audience here is that we'll probably, if we could even do a 20-minute segment randomly, one day or something like that, we'll do that, put it out there for the masses, and then maybe we'll see what we can do. We're gonna try to do it for the people, of course, because this is what we're here for, right?
We're gonna try to do it for the Vine.
Right. So this will be a nostalgic show. I'm looking forward especially to Mike's topic here because Mike's topic we'll get on the back. Should I be the last one on the show, you think, or should we lead off with the Mike's topic?
Hold on. As a second gift for the birthday boy, we'll let him pick which topic starts tonight.
Okay, let's do that.
Oh. Let's go right for the IC title. I thought it was fun.
Okay, let's do that. And high-pitched Joe.
If we run
and guess what?
On this one, it's easier to cut some of the other ones short, you know?
Right, and high-pitched Joe's back.
Well,
there he is.
What happens when he gets excited?
That's right. Hey.
High-pitched Joe has never left.
That's right. All right, so let's do it, Mike. Your topic for this 3 weeks of this.
All right, so last week's show we did not have a show. The week before it, we had fun with the King of the Ring. I've decided to hybrid it for the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to run a 32-man bracket for the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. The 32 ranked were randomized. I picked the 32 guys that I thought should have represented the Intercontinental title. There is a top half of the bracket that we'll do tonight. The bottom half, first round, we'll do on next week's show, and then we'll do the quarters, semis, and eventually the title in the third show. We'll start with the 132 matchup. It is a matchup of everybody's favorite smoker, Rob Van Dam, who is the 1 seed on this bracket. He is taking on the show-off Dolph Ziggler. I do have notes on those guys, so let me read them off before we start the voting process.
You got it.
RVD had 6 reigns as the Intercontinental Champion for a total of 224 days held. RVD won the title by defeating William Regal at WrestleMania 18. It sounds like there's an echo, guys. Do you hear an echo, or am I?
Yeah, I do have an echo.
I don't hear it.
Hold on, let me take my headphones out and see if that'll help. I'll put you on speakerphone. Just give me a sec. AirPods I think are causing an echo. Oh, wait a minute, I don't hear it anymore. I didn't take them out yet, so we'll just try to run with it.
Just go.
All right, so RVD's first reign was against William Regal at WrestleMania 18. He held it 35 days. He defeated Eddie Guerrero in a ladder match on an episode of Monday Night Raw. Held the title for 63 days. Chris Benoit on an episode of Raw for 22 days. Christian in a ladder match for 28 days. Chris Jericho on a Raw in a cage match, 48 days. He had actually lost that title to Jericho earlier in the show. That was funny. And his last reign was a reign that came at the hands of Shelton Benjamin, where the winner also won RVD's Money in the Bank briefcase. Now the 32 seed is Dolph Ziggler. He had 6 reigns for a total of 363 days held. His reigns, he defeated Kofi Kingston and held the title for 154 days. The Miz at SummerSlam held it for 36 days. The Miz again and held it for 57 days. Luke Harper in a ladder match at TLC for 23 days. The Miz for a third time in a title versus career match for 37 days. And then finally he defeated Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw to hold the belt for 61 days. The 1 seed RVD, the 32 seed Dolph Ziggler. I will cast my vote first on this one before we go too much further. I am actually going to take, I guess what seeding-wise would be the upset. I'm going to take the show-off Dolph Ziggler as my winner of the 1 and 32 matchup. I think Dolph beat some bigger guys to win the title. Yes, I know RVD beat Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho, but his other two reigns came against Christian, who was a man at the time, William Regal, who I think he beat in like 22 seconds, and then the Shelton Benjamin match was really kind of a waste. If you look at Ziggler, he defeated Kingston, who is a former world champion, The Miz, who's a former world champion, Luke Harper, who's killing it in AEW, and he kind of beat Seth Rollins, who last time I checked, is a pretty big deal.
Yeah. And guess what? I'm going to agree with you on that one. I'm going to take Zig also.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, that is a 3-0 sweep for the show-off Dolph Ziggler. He moves on to the second round. His opponent will either be the number 16 seed of Shinsuke Nakamura or the number 17 seed, The Rock, Don Muraco. Nakamura's lone Intercontinental title reign was 201 days. He defeated Finn Balor at an Extreme Rules kickoff show. For Don Muraco, he had a reign of 2 for a total of 504 days. He defeated Pedro Morales and held the title for 156 days at a house show, and then defeated Morales a second time and held the title for 385 days, defeating Morales at a house show.
So you mean Morales didn't learn his lesson, in other words. Okay.
Yeah. The 17 seed Muraco, the 16 seed Shinsuke Nakamura. I will pass that buck to one of you guys to discuss who you pick first.
I'm going to go – I mean, I didn't mind The Rock, Don Muraco. I caught his very end of his career in 87, 88. And I know obviously he was a big deal, in the early 80s, late 70s. But, Shinsuke's – this is his only reign he had recently. So he had one reign that ended like a couple months ago. I loved his reign. I loved it. So I'll go Shinsuke on this one. I think Shinsuke's reign was really good.
Ooh, that was a good argument for him. The thing for me is, and I'm gonna just admit it, I don't know Don Morocco's reign very well. I haven't.
Oh yeah, it's
pre-Hulkamania.
Pre-Hulkamania.
Right, like I've certainly heard of him. I certainly know who he is. I even know that he was IC champion because it gets discussed. But I can't name a single title defense he ever did, or I can't.
No.
There's nothing I could point to and be like, oh yeah, that great Don Morocco feud, other than Jimmy Snuka, and I don't even know if that involved the IC title, to be honest. Probably not. Right, that's what I'm saying. So that just I have to vote for I have to vote for the more modern
version. Didn't Shinsuke also beat the Miz 1.2 as well last year? I think
probably.
Yeah, and the Miz is one of the greatest champions of all time.
Well, we're gonna figure out who's the greatest champion of all time on the show.
Right.
My vote would have been for The Rock, Don Morocco. I would have picked him. I think the duration of days. I know a lot of people didn't change titles back then. The 2 reigns, 504 days. Plus, Nakamura was the champion when they debuted that horrific fucking black title belt that they have right now. That's hot trash.
Why would you blame him for that, though?
I'm not blaming him for it. I would have just said, you had that shit title. Get it out.
Yeah.
I get you saying, though. Yeah.
Next up is the 924 matchup. It is 9-seed Rey Mysterio versus the 24-seed Ravishing Rick Rude. Mysterio had 2 reigns for 129 total days. He defeated JBL at WrestleMania 25 and held the title for 63 days. If I'm not mistaken, this is when JBL retired.
Yes, that was his last. I think his last.
06, 07,
he went nuts
06.
and quit. He went nuts after the match and quit. His other title reign, he defeated Chris Jericho at the Bash in a mask versus title match, and held the title for 68 days. Ravishing Rick Rude's lone reign was 147 days. He defeated the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 5.
That's correct.
I will start on this one, and I'll let you guys dissect the way you want. While Rick Rude defeated the Ultimate Warrior, who was the unstoppable machine in the Intercontinental title picture, I'm going to vote Rey Mysterio. I love the fact that he had a great feud with Chris Jericho to win the title. I also love the fact that his first one coming against JBL, who was, yes, at the tail end of his run, but was still a great heel in WWE at the time. And that feud was really nicely done as well. I know he didn't have long title runs, but I feel like the grandeur of the way he won the belts just kind of gives him that boost. I know Warrior is his own thing and it's WrestleMania, but obviously we knew it was coming for Warrior. We knew we had to move him some way, shape, or form. So I feel like if Rude would have beat him maybe at a SummerSlam, the August before that, I would have felt like this title change was more of oh shit, they're gonna do something with Rick Rude more than we're gonna move the Ultimate Warrior to the world title picture.
Well, let me tell you this. I'm gonna go over Rey Mysterio real quick, obviously, because the statistics alone make that happen. But as someone who lived and watched wrestling in real time in '89 when Warrior lost that title to Rude, that was a major deal back then. That was a big deal.
So wait, do I get a vote?
Oh, obviously you get a vote.
Yeah, of course you get a vote. I picked Mysterio. I'm just saying that Rude's reign was very short. Mania lost at SummerSlam.
Look, I zoned out. I don't even know who you guys voted for.
Mike got Ray. I got Ray also.
We both voted for Ray.
So Ray already won.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all suck. Rick Rude was the right choice.
No. The thing is, though, here's what sucks in this situation. I didn't see Ray's reigns at all. But the stats alone sides of Mysterio. But that being said,
but to me, part of what I would vote in this is if that person, if the biggest they ever got was this title,
that's kind of why I voted for Don Morocco.
Right, yeah. and I get that, but that's not Rick Rude. I mean, Rick Rude. Of all the people who, probably deserve to be a world champion and never got there.
Let me tell you guys real quick, though, especially that summer, because I've always said that one of the biggest, '89 was actually, to me personally, I think I've said this in the past, '89 to me was a disappointment for the WWF, only because of the fact that I feel like they could have done more with the talent they had in that roster. That summer between Mania and SummerSlam, Warrior Rude, that was the best feud of that summer. Even better than Hogan and Zeus. Fuck, I don't give a fuck what it says. Warrior and Rude was the best feud of the summer.
Yeah. At the same time. Anything's better than Hogan Zeus.
Say it again?
Anything's better than Hogan.
Well, yeah, but Hogan Zeus also was right from the Hogan Savage thing too. Don't forget that. But still, but the way they wrote that, the way they booked fucking Beyond Mania 5 from Hogan and Savage was stupid. In hindsight, I hated it. So
trash.
Yeah, I agree.
The 8:25 matchup is probably going to be the toughest matchup of the first round. It is. They've been rivals, and they've had arguably the greatest ladder match in WrestleMania history. Shawn Michaels, the 8th seed, versus the number 25 seed, the bad guy, Razor Ramon. Shawn had 3 IC title runs for a total of 403 days. He defeated the British Bulldog on Saturday night's main event and held the title for 202 days. Defeated Marty Jannetty at a house show and had it for 113 days, and then defeated Jeff Jarrett in Your House number 2 and held the IC title for 91 days. For the bad guy, Razor Ramon, he had 4 reigns for 434 days. Defeated Rick Martel in an episode of Monday Night Raw after Shawn vacated the title that eventually led to the ladder match between Shawn and Razor at WrestleMania 10. Razor and Martel withstood a battle royal, and then he defeated Martel in a singles match. He held that title for 198 days. He defeated Big Daddy Cool Diesel at SummerSlam and held it for 146 days. Defeated Jeff Jarrett at a house show in a ladder match and held it for 3 days. And then defeated Dean Douglas, who had won the title after HBK vacated it due to the nightclub brawl at In Your House and held the title for 91 days.
Right.
I'll let you guys go first, and if I have to be the tiebreaker, I will.
All right, Joe, go ahead.
You first.
Me?
Yeah.
I feel like you're right, Mike. This is it's probably the hardest one in the first round of the bracket. Like, to me, honestly, like, Razor's IC reigns don't stand out to me personally, and probably because of the fact that I didn't watch much. New Generation was really kind of blurry, and this is understanding that he was a great title holder multiple times. I felt like I have to give that to Shawn though. That's a Shawn because I thought it's a little bit more, stood out a little bit more than Razor in my opinion. But that's not a knock on Razor. I just think Shawn, when he got his first belt, and it was in 92 and 93, stood out more to me than Razor did.
Yeah,
so you're voting Shawn?
Yeah, I'm
voting
Shawn. I'm voting Shawn too. And this is a hard one because I do love Razor, and Razor certainly fits the whole "this is the biggest he got" title-wise argument and stuff. But I mean, Shawn Michaels' IC title reigns are actually pretty memorable in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the stuff with Marty after he threw him to the plate glass.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
like that's really memorable. Like I would have voted. My vote is formally for Razor just because it was his biggest title run. Mm-hmm. He did have some really good matches, especially the ladder match with Shawn at WrestleMania 10 that he came out victorious in. But I could obviously see voting for either one of these guys. And honestly, if we would have hit random one more time and these guys would have fought each other in the finals, it could have been a whole other argument.
Right.
The fact that these two guys got paired together in the first round, completely luck of the draw, but it was probably, like I said, it's arguably the toughest matchup. The only other one that may be tougher is one we'll get into on the next show. I'll spoil it for you a little bit. It's Bret Hart versus The Miz.
Ooh. I might stun you that one, actually. We may have to be on the same page on that one, actually.
We'll talk. We'll talk about it next week. We'll talk about it on next week's show. The next matchup is the 528 matchup. Randy Macho Man Savage held the title one time for 414 days. He defeated El Matador, Tito Santana, at a house show and held it for 414 days. He takes on dashing Cody Rhodes. Cody defeated Ezekiel Jackson on SmackDown, held the title for 234 days, and defeated The Big Show in a tables match and held the title for 22 days. The longevity of Savage's reign and the importance of him with that title is what I think gets Randy my vote over Cody here.
Mm-hmm.
Cody did a lot of really good things as the Intercontinental Champion. Number one, he brought back the old school title. Number two, he did the paper bag stuff and everything. And I loved that Cody Rhodes. Like, when he was the handsome kid and then he got his nose broken by Rey Mysterio, and he became this, like, just disgusting, like, oh my God, I'm so broken fucking guy. Like, that Cody Rhodes is one of my favorite Cody Rhodes characters. But I still think Savage's reign was more important.
In fact, Joe, you might go next, or you want to go?
You know, I really want to vote for Cody, but like I feel like you're probably voting Savage, so Savage is winning
easily.
anyway.
Easy.
All right, I'm gonna give Cody a vote just so that it's not
okay. That's fine.
Nothing, because I did love Cody's reign. I do love that he brought back the old title and stuff. But I'm only voting for Cody because I know you're voting for Savage.
Okay. It's his only reign, but I can argue that this might have been, to this day, the most important IC title reign in the history of the company. This was the reign that made that belt really almost level with the World Championship. And it started with Macho.
Yeah.
It started with Macho. Because once he got the belt, that belt had more importance than ever had, and to this day.
Yeah.
It's the most important reign of that belt in the history of the company. It's just that simple. I mean, the fact that Honky Tonk Man got 14 months out of that belt, the importance of that belt, it was lifted because of Macho. WrestleMania and it climaxed WrestleMania 3 with him and Steamboat. You know, so to me that reign. I mean, I guess there's other reigns out there. I would put a level of Macho in terms of like that meant a lot. Perfect reign. I think his first reign, it was really important. You know, but this was the reign that started the IC title being, holy shit, this means a lot. This belt means something. It started with Macho. Yeah. So.
In probably the toughest, like, not to pick, but just the toughest in general. The 12-21 matchup. The 12 seed is Chris Benoit. The 21 seed is Eddie Guerrero. Both of these guys are gone way too soon. One of them of a very traumatic experience, and the other one of a very heinous decision. But that's not going to be why we're talking about these two guys. We're going to talk about solely their reigns as the Intercontinental Champion. So I don't want you guys to take what Chris has done into tarnishing what he's done with the titles. But I feel like I had to say that because it's very easy just to, I don't want to talk about Chris Benoit, so let's just vote him out kind of thing. So Benoit had 4 reigns, 159 total days as champion. He defeated Kurt Angle and Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 2000 in the first fall of the Intercontinental title match. He held the IC title for 32 days. He defeated Chris Jericho on SmackDown to hold it for 43 days. Defeated Billy Gunn at Armageddon and held it for 42 days. And defeated RVD and held it for 27 days. Eddie had 2 reigns, 116 days. He defeated China on an episode of Monday Night Raw and held the title 80 days. He also defeated RVD and held it for 36 days after beating him at Backlash. Ooh.
Kind of feel like Guerrero probably benefited more from this belt than Benoit. Maybe. I feel like Guerrero.
My vote, no matter what happened, is Benoit. I think he really took his runs with the IC title and tried to prove to Vince that he could fight for the world title.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's finally like his especially his last 2, the one after he beat Billy Gunn and the one after RVD, where he literally was just like, I know we only held him for like 20 and 40 days respectively,
right? But
he literally, like, that was him like, Vince, give me a shot, and Vince finally fucking believed in it. And I think it propelled Chris. If Chris was never the IC champion, I don't think he would have gotten propelled to main event status, where Eddie's charisma alone would have gotten Eddie there.
It's a good argument there, to be honest with you. You know what? Fuck, I'll go Benoit. I'll go. I think you sold me on that. You sold me on that one. I'll go Benoit.
Joseph?
Yeah. That's a vote for Benoit.
The charisma argument sold me on that one.
You can't tell. That's called a vote for Benoit. There's no enthusiasm behind it, but you have to just do it.
Yeah. Separate the person from the
shit from the fucking the in-ring stuff.
Yeah,
this one's going to be fun to talk about a little bit, I think. The 13 seed Shelton Benjamin, the 20 seed The Ultimate Warrior. Benjamin had 3 reigns for 352 days. He defeated Chris Jericho at Taboo Tuesday after being voted in. Held the title for 245 days. Defeated Ric Flair on an episode of Monday Night Raw and held the title for 69 days. And defeated RVD on Raw. he pinned RVD in a match that was Chris Masters, Triple H, and Shelton Benjamin versus John Cena and RVD, where if the champion took the fall, they lost their title. Benjamin held the title for 41 days. The Ultimate Warrior, 2 reigns, both of them SummerSlam, both of them 216 days.
Go figure, right?
His opponent's a little different. Honky Tonk Man at the first SummerSlam, Rick Rude at the other one. Both held for 216 days, 2 total runs for 432 days for the guy from Parts Unknown. The pure athleticism of Shelton Benjamin, I think, gets lost because he was there for a while, and then he left, and now he's back, and now he's part of the fucking Hurt Business, or whatever the fuck they want to call themselves. But I think Shelton Benjamin did a lot with the IC title, and I think that might be his ceiling. Obviously, we know what Warrior ended up doing, winning the title and then dropping the title and vacating the title because he won the world title and had a world title reign. So from the standpoint of what the importance of the Intercontinental title was to that person, I have to lean towards Shelton, but I think for the greatest vote, I have to go Warrior just because obviously he was the second in line after Hogan, but what Warrior did, he beat the Honky Tonk Man in 8 seconds, and he had really good matches when he was actually motivated to be good. And honestly, his loss to Rick Rude, that match was really entertaining.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those where Warrior was a guy that knew to take nights off. You would think he would take a night off when he was dropping the fucking title. But maybe they told him he was going to get back next year, or they decided to go a different route and not put the world title on him as soon as they thought. But it made sense, I think. So I'm going to go Warrior, but I think Shelton Benjamin deserves a lot more consideration than some would give him in this spot.
I give Savage I said earlier, I gave Savage a lot of credit. Macho Man gave credit for being the first guy of importance. Look, I'm not the biggest Warrior fan in the world. I've been very vocal about that for years. But I got to give him credit, though. His 2 reigns, he maintained that level of keeping that belt as important as it was, after Macho and after Honky. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as I said, Mania 5, when he lost to Rick Rude, no one saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. I mean, that stunned the entire fucking Trump Plaza. And then he got back at SummerSlam in the same year, and then, and then another reign. He had a good feud with Andre for a little while. So Warrior did a good job of keeping that title as important as it was, in the same way Macho did to Steamboat, to Honky, and then obviously to Ultimate Warrior. So it's Warrior easily here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Warrior gets 1 vote for every different color title belt he had.
That too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like the mint green one the best myself.
Think so?
Honestly, that light purple though.
Oh.
I just get offended when
I got some sneakers that would go with that one.
I know.
How about Captain Petty here? I used to be when he won the title from Hogan back in '90, and he started changing the colors of the belt. That used to annoy me. What the fuck are you doing, bro? Leave it alone. I'm so petty. I'm so pissed he beat Hogan. That's why. Change the fucking color purple. Get the fuck out of here, dude. You alone.
Yeah, whatever.
Still pissed about that. 30 years later, still pissed about
that. Somebody holds a grudge. Damn.
Good job, Slaughter.
Final first round matchup, and the final one we'll talk about here. We have the bottom half of the bracket again on next week's show. The 4-seed Owen Hart versus the 29-seed Pedro Morales. Hart's 2 title reigns lasted 132 days. He defeated Rocky Maivia on Raw, held the title for 97 days, and defeated Farouk in the finals of a tournament, and won the title at Bad Blood in Your House, and held the title for 35 days. Pedro Morales had 2 total reigns for 617 total days. He defeated Ken Patera at a house show and held the title for 194 days. He also defeated the guy who lost earlier, Don Morocco, in their little cool flip the titles back and forth at a house show. He held the title for 425 days before eventually dropping it back to Morocco. I'm going to go with the King of Hearts. I'm going to go with Owen Hart to advance here. Because the fact of the matter is that's the highest Owen ever got. Yes, Owen should have gotten a world title reign, and I think Owen would have eventually gotten one if he was still with us. But unfortunately, we didn't get to experience that. And him, anytime he had a title, was gold. Literally and figuratively. His humor was through the roof. I just think Owen Owen was ahead of his time, and it sucks that Owen's gone. And it sucks that we didn't get to see Owen with a world title reign because that would have been a lot of fun, like I said. But I just feel like Owen is a guy that I don't know gets enough credit for his runs with the IC title because his promos were gold, and I obviously didn't need that in the 1970s, 1960s. Whenever Morales and those guys were around. Like, no disrespect to holding the title for 617 days, but they also probably weren't doing as much in-ring wrestling and traveling and stuff like that. They're probably having shows every once a month or something.
Yeah, he suffered from the era because that was still the era, even though it was a new generation. Vince wanted certain guys holding the title a certain amount of time and all that, and he was kind of like the same way Mr. Perfect was used, the Hulkamania era. Well, he was good enough to be the champion, but you obviously wouldn't take up Hogan, a Warrior, or Savage. You know what I mean? So he suffered from the Brett thing and the Shawn thing, and all and Diesel, of course. So there's no doubt that if Owen Hart was in this era, he'd been a multiple champion, 5-6 times over. But it is Owen Hart.
I still think he would have won a world title. I think he would have had a reign in the new generation. I think he should have had a reign. I think he should have beat Brett for the title after WrestleMania 10, and I think we should have had Hart versus Hart at Survivor Series.
I agree, actually. Yeah, I mean, the thing was, though, before he died, he kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit by 99 before he passed away.
Yeah, he also decided to take a step back and become the Blue Blazer.
Right.
Like they wanted to take Owen off the screen for a little while, so when they inevitably brought Owen as Owen back, it just made more sense. And unfortunately, we never got to see Owen be Owen again.
And they could have done something the Owen Austin thing again a second time in 99. That'd be great. Yeah. Joe?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. You sold me on that one. Plus, also too, I'm not convinced that Pedro Morales is a real person. I mean,
I get it.
He could be just as made up as those tournaments in Rio de Janeiro.
Goddamn Pat Patterson. All right, so that is the first. That's the top half of the bracket. Matchups going into 2 weeks from now: Dolph Ziggler versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Rey Mysterio versus Shawn Michaels, Macho Man Chris Benoit, Ultimate Warrior Owen Hart. That's the top half of the Greatest IC Championship bracket. That's all I have for that bracket right now. It's going to be a lot of fun on next week's show, and that's where I'll leave the IC title tournament.
All right. Next one. Birthday Boy, what's the next topic?
Well, okay. I think I should go last.
Okay. So we go to in honor of SummerSlam being tonight that we can't review because you missed the shows. By the way, 15 minutes to your birthday, for the record.
Thank you.
We decided this is something we wanted to do last week actually, but we'll do it now, which is top 5 or favorite 5. Does it mean any order? Favorite SummerSlam matches / moments. It could be anything. SummerSlam is probably the second or maybe the third most important pay-per-view of the big four. I mean, it's probably third now because of the importance of Royal Rumble. I've said for years though before that SummerSlam's number 2 because SummerSlam felt like a WrestleMania light, if you will. Yeah, a lot of great moments have happened in SummerSlam over the course of the last 32 years of the event, and I got 5 here, and honestly, this is hard because I actually could have added up 5 more, and you can make an argument for them being in my top 5. No order, of course. The Bret Hart Undertaker match, and this the entire spectacle. What happened from start to finish, and the bridging of rivalries. HBK, of course, is a referee. If HBK, stipulation was what? If HBK didn't pin Bret or didn't make call down on the line, he couldn't wrestle a match in America anymore. Was that stipulation? I believe.
I believe so. Yeah.
Something of that nature. Because you had the Bret HBK rivalry. Meanwhile, Taker was still a champion, which you'll lose to Bret, of course, because Bret spits at Shawn hits Bret with a chair, and then Taker pins. Bret HBK actually misses Bret, and Bret pins Taker, of course. But of course, that led to my favorite rivalry in the history of the company, Taker and HBK. So Taker and Bret for me. The next one here, I might surprise you guys. HBK and Triple H at SummerSlam 2002, the unsanctioned match, which I actually watched for the first time late last year. That was HBK's return to the WWE after 4 years away. Phenomenal match, of course. We're still the same guy. Same event here. The Rock and Brock Lesnar at 02 SummerSlam as well. The Rock made Lesnar look like $1 million in this match, and I mean at the time when Lesnar won the match, you think, okay, this is the guy for the next 10, 15, 20 years, and then he leaves, of course, 2 years later. But the matchup was amazing. I actually love. We actually teased it a little bit in the IC bracket here. SummerSlam '89, the Warrior Rude match. Not the greatest technical match, but the psychology was amazing. And then you had Roddy Piper come at the end and distract Rude and showing off his kilt and all that. And it was this. This is what I was trying to tell you guys how big that rivalry was. That was probably the best definitely the best feud of the summer. And I argue after Savage Hogan, the best feud of the year was Warrior and Rude. And that, to me, this was actually better than the Mania match, actually. Although I hated the result. Because Warrior got the belt back. And then last one here, Hulk Hogan, HBK, 2005 match. I saw for the first time last year as well. Although HBK overselling the shit out of Hogan, which was hysterical to this day. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. Like I said, there's other ones I could have put on here on this list too. You know, obviously Macho getting married to Liz in '91. Mega Powers, Mega Bucks, of course. I love the Warrior Rude Steel Cage match from 1990 SummerSlam, and I actually love also the Hart Foundation against the Demolition in 1990 as well too. When Hart Foundation got the belts back after. Yeah. That was the best match of the entire card. So those are my 5 right now. I mean, this is interchangeable though, to be honest with you. So.
Mike,
I'll go. That's fine. My first one, we were there for it. It happened last year at the Air Canada Center in Toronto. The Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar singles match for the Universal title.
Really?
Yeah, I love that match. I thought the match had everything that it needed. It was 13 minutes. It was quick. It was to the fucking point, and it got Seth over fucking huge. That place wanted to erupt so bad when he won, and just like the sigh of relief that everybody had that Brock Lesnar finally wasn't going to be the champion. Yeah, that kind of like went to another level for me. I thought that was great. Again, my personal opinion. Another one that I'll put up, a winner take all match. We were there for this one too. It happened at SummerSlam 2015. Seth Rollins versus John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship and the United States Championship. Is this the one where Jon Stewart cost John Cena the match?
I think it was.
So. I think it was. Was it in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. I watched that recently too. That's why I know that.
I just thought that was fucking awesome. Big fan there. Trying to think if there's any other from other ones we went to. I don't think so. Let me click on this one. I'm literally doing this on the fly, so you have to give me a second. I didn't have a lot of time to fucking think about
any historical ones that come to mind?
Obviously, Liz and Taker, or Liz and Savage getting married was on my list, and so you started just listing off shit.
Oh, by the way, while you're looking for it real quick, another one I actually liked, you'd be surprised with this one. Cena and Lesnar. Was it 2014?
Oh, that was a fantastic match.
Lesnar dominating Cena the entire match pretty much. Like, to me, obviously, was not really competitive. No, but it made him look like a fucking monster. That was done correctly. Cena was very unselfish. I will say that. Getting guys over. Very unselfish.
The other one that's popping out to me is obviously Finn Balor winning the Universal title from Seth Rollins. Even though he didn't have a title reign with it because of his shoulder. Yeah, I have to give Finn credit because he wrestled about 17 and a half minutes of that match with a dislocated shoulder.
2016?
Yeah. Major kudos there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the ladder match between Rude and Warrior that you mentioned, got to give love to that. And, I mean, honestly, the only other thing that's really hopping into my mind, and I'm trying to go from a more approach of, like, matches that me and Joe saw in person together.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the historical stuff that you just listed off could be pretty much everybody's top 5. I don't even want to mention anything from the 2018 SummerSlam at Barclays Center because the last 4 matches, the longest match was an 11-minute match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Jeff Hardy for the U.S. title. So that kind of just is like, ugh, that entire card probably sucks. But it has to be the fact that this match single-handedly launched the beginning of the man. And that is the triple threat match. Charlotte Flair won the SmackDown Women's title from Carmella and Becky. This is where Becky basically at the end of it hugged Charlotte and then smashed the shit out of her.
Yeah.
With a forearm. And I think this really led to the man becoming a thing. So I have to put it on there because honestly, the best gimmick that they've had up until, of course, her pregnancy or whatever was the fact that she was the man.
I saw that match recently too, which is funny. So that's yeah. Joseph.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start at the place that I think deserves to be started with first and foremost, and that is SummerSlam 1990.
All right.
And like, I think that whole show deserves to be there on the list.
Oh yeah, it's a great show.
It is. It's a great show. Personally, I did not see it when it first happened. I saw it on VHS, possibly even factually, about 2 years after the fact. 2 years after it happened, I was at my grandmother's house in the middle of June. I had the chicken pox. I was staying there for a few weeks because my mom was about to give birth to my younger brother. Shout out Nick if you're listening. And I was staying at my grandmother's and she didn't have cable, so we'd go to the video store every day. And I miss my grandmother, I love her. We'd go to the video store every day and she'd rent me whatever wrestling videotapes I wanted. And one of them was SummerSlam 1990, and I have, from the very first time I watched that show, I've always remembered so many things about that show. I remember loving the Mr. Perfect and Texas Tornado match on there.
That was a shocker too. That was another shocker.
That's a great match. I remember the whole Sensational Sherry thing where she with the count out for Sapphire and like that's on that show, right?
Yeah, because Million Men stole Sapphire pretty much.
Yes, yeah. like all that stuff. Like, you know, I think that show just overall is a class. I've wanted to all week find time to watch that show, and obviously I didn't even have time to watch like current shows, so it didn't happen. But that's a favorite.
I have a question from that show, quick though. Maybe made this history. First match of that show was the Rockers against Power and Glory.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels is hurt, right? Was he really hurt though that day? And that's what they did. They just kind of made him like take a bump from Hercules, hit him with a chain, because he missed the entire match pretty much.
Oh, I don't know. He could have been hungover for all we know at that time. Like, it could have been anything.
Because it was basically a handicap match the entire way. Because he could.
Yeah. No, that's a great show. My next SummerSlam member. I mean, I don't know how you talk about SummerSlam and don't talk about Bret Hart and the British Bulldog in their match in '92. That's a classic, obviously. Yeah. I don't remember. You know what's weird is I feel like I don't remember anything else about that show, and I feel like I should because it seems like
Warriors,
it's been a bigger show.
Average Warriors, only thing that stood out. That's it.
Yeah, like I feel like there should have been more to it, given how big of an environment it was and stuff. But like, that's why, like, I don't know. Like, it feels like there should be more that's memorable from that show. But Bret and the British Bulldog, like that is a clip that 50 years from now they'll still be dusting off and being like, this is one of the best like SummerSlam matches ever. For my next couple of choices, I'm gonna jump ahead to the 2000s. Rey Mysterio and Kurt Angle in 2002. It's one of the best matches I think I've ever seen in my life. It's there at the beginning of SummerSlam. Is it 2002 or 2004?
I'm not 100% sure.
I think so too. I think so too.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because someone mentioned it actually recently. That's why. Right. I mentioned it recently.
Yeah. Okay, good. So yeah, that match to me is one of the best matches of either guy's career, which is saying a lot.
By the way,
that's one of the best matches in SummerSlam history, and I think like that obviously deserves to be here.
Oh wait, that's the top 3 of 5, top 5 or top 3 SummerSlam all time too. 02 SummerSlam is amazing.
Oh yeah, that's a great show, absolutely. And my next one, and I don't know if I've hit 5, but this is the last one you're getting from me. No, wait, I'll give you 2 more. Fuck that. First, my next one also has Rey Mysterio in it, and it is Mysterio, and it is Eddie Guerrero in the ladder match in 2005. For Dominic, yes, for who had a match tonight that I know nothing about, no spoilers. But like that match is the epitome of horrible, like in my mind, horrible stipulation, but a great match that came out of it. Because like I think we all sort of agree, at least on this show at the very least, that like that storyline was kind of dumb. But those two, I mean, I don't know. Apparently, you could give them any excuse to wrestle, and it didn't matter as long as they got to wrestle. It was a great match.
Right.
And the last one I'm gonna throw out here. This is one that Mike and I were at live because we've gone to a couple of different SummerSlams. We did a couple of the Brooklyn ones and stuff, and I stayed awake through some of them. And one of the ones that I stayed awake through that was a great match. And for me, the memory is added to because it was the match where I realized that the dude sitting next to me at the Barclays Center was also gay.
I know exactly where we're going.
Yes, and then like look, I go to a lot of wrestling shows. I'm a huge wrestling fan. You'd be surprised by how many gay men are not wrestling fans. I'm surprised by it. I mean, most of the wrestlers are kind of hot. Most of them are not wearing much clothing. You would think it would attract more of a homosexual audience, but I'm a rare gay wrestling fan. And I will say though that I'm at this show with Mike. Mike and I are sitting there at the Barclays Center, and I kind of am getting a vibe off of the dude sitting next to me. And now the truth is,
was he sitting next to me or was he sitting next to you?
No, he was sitting next to me. I made sure that I was sitting next to him. Thank you. I had a vibe right from the beginning of the night. I made sure I was sitting next to him. But so, and the truth of the matter is, we like as my ex-wife always likes to joke, my gaydar is so bad that I didn't even know I was gay. So I wasn't positive that I was getting the right vibe. And then we're sitting there, and Seth Rollins comes out for his match against John Cena, and he comes out in that like white, like all white outfit.
White pants, yeah.
Yeah. And
the white alternate.
And I say to this guy sitting next to me, and mind you, I'm trying to figure out, and I'm bad at flirting, so it's not going well, but I'm trying to figure it out. And
he's throwing a line out there.
Right. We're gonna see if anyone's gonna nibble. And I'm just like, wow, I really like Seth Rollins. He, whatever. And this man turns to me and is just like, that is my man, and he looks so good in white. And I was like, oh. I never got his phone number or anything, but that was the moment.
Oh, you're so bad.
He was definitely gay.
He's definitely the worst.
You're getting weak, dog. Also, happy birthday.
Yeah. No. I'm not. I'm the opposite. I'm the antithesis of Triple H. I am not the game. I have no game. But that match was also a great match.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's all.
Okay, and that's it for this topic. Okay, last one, Joe, birthday boy.
So, since I threw the curveball at you guys of, hey, let's not recap those shows because I didn't get to watch them, and I would like to avoid spoilers. I was like, oh shit, I needed a topic for tonight, and I knew we were doing the SummerSlam Memories one in lieu of, one of the reviews. So I was like, you know what? But SummerSlam isn't the only big wrestling thing that's ever happened during the summers. ECW used to have some big summer shows. WCW's had some big summer shows. Even WWF has had some big summer shows that have nothing to do with SummerSlam. So, my fellow wrestling peoples, why don't we talk about our favorite non-SummerSlam memories? And I'm not going to go first. It's my birthday. Fuck you guys. It's officially my birthday as of 2 minutes ago.
I got two. I thought of the one right now as you say that.
All right. Well, Mike, you want to go first? Ernest, you want to go first?
Mike.
I'm trying to think of this. No. All right, Ernest, go first so I can.
Oh, I got two. I got one. I
am putting something up to verify dates.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay, no problem. No, the one I got an hour ago. One has got like less than 20 seconds ago.
Okay.
1 hour ago, I thought of. a big moment, non-SummerSlam moment, was on Saturday Night's Main Event from 1989 when the Brainbusters beat Demolition. And that was stunning. Again, one of those moments where, when you're in the moment, 9 years old watching this shit, and Demolition is being booked as the greatest tag team in the history of all tag teams. And I really think no one can beat them. And then the Brainbusters, these two white boys come in here and it's fucking beat 2 out of 3 falls against Demolition. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That stunned me as a kid. I was like, no way. That could never happen. And Bobby got his first, that summer, Bobby got some gold. Not the world title, but he had, at that time, in that moment, freeze frame that moment, he has the IC championship in Rick Rude, and he has the Brainbusters Tag Team Championship for that good month, if you will, before he lost Rude lost a month later in SummerSlam. The other one, of course, I mean, how could you forget it? The NWO, 96.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was the moment I thought of right away. I was like, things have happened over the summer that aren't SummerSlam.
Look, I was kind of around that time. This is 96. I'm 16 years old. Around that time, I got back into WWF again for the first time in a couple of years when Shawn got the belt. I watched a little bit of it. I was like, okay, it's not bad. And then Hogan turned heel. What the fuck? And I was back. They got me back again at that point.
Yeah.
Hogan's disciple, so I went with Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are two that stand out to me, really, summertime wise.
Mike?
Okay, so I have. Let's see if this is the right show.
Another one I think of. Let me see. Not long I think of. Meantime, to kill some time here.
Sting versus Mang to win the U.S. title at
fucking 95.
Yes.
Okay, wait. So my brother texted me the other day that he's watching that show, and I was like, oh, so you're about to watch the Sting Main Clinic? Because that match was fucking 29 forever long.
Correct.
Like, that match I remember you and I watching it being like, this is pretty good 15 minutes in, and then 15 minutes later we were like, but why is it going on for a half hour?
Yes, that match. That match is a fucking clinic.
Yeah.
So great. So great. Rest hold. I don't know. There's a lot of rest holds, I think, in that match. It was weird.
Yeah.
Another good moment that I have from this one. Falls Count Anywhere match between Randy Savage versus Diamond Dallas Page.
Ooh.
That match is incredible.
Great American Bash, right?
Yes, 1997 Great American Bash.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the only other one would be, and this is kudos to what happened just recently. It's Keith Lee winning the NXT North American Champion, or winning the NXT title from Adam Cole and becoming the first double champ.
Oh.
Champ.
Champ. There you go.
Oh, hold on. And in the worst match of all time to ever happen, in the Great American Bash 2004, Undertaker versus the Dudley Boys in the Concrete Grip match. That was fucking awful.
Jesus Christ. That whole show is not exactly a highlight of Great American Bash history.
All right. And Joe brings home.
One of my instant summertime wrestling memories has to be ECW Heatwave 1996. It is one of the first VHS tapes. I only ever ordered 2 from ECW back in the day. That was one of them. I'm pretty sure the network, like WWE, recently put this show up on the network. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet, and I really want to. I'm pretty sure it's the show that has my favorite match of all time on it, which is the 4-way TV title match with Shane Douglas and Pitbull number 2 and 2 Cold Scorpio and Chris Jericho. It's an incredible show. You know, I often say that I think a lot of people remember a lot of ECW with rose-colored glasses. Like I said, I haven't watched the show in years, so it's possible that could still be true. But I certainly remember thinking that show was incredible. I mean, it was the first time that I was ever like, I'm going to order a show off of like a VHS like that that's not WWE or WCW or WWF at the time, rather, you know. So that one Like, when I think of summertime wrestling, I definitely think of that show. Of course, there's the NWO forming, as you said. I think that whole summer with the NWO, like, not even just Hogan's heel turn, but even, like, the month before with Nash and Hall putting Bischoff through the table off the stage. Like, that's a moment that I feel like I will be on my deathbed and not remember
awesome.
a lot of my life, and I'll remember that one. You know what I mean?
That was an awesome moment.
Yeah, that's it. Like, that was an awesome moment. That whole summer was kind of full of awesome moments for WCW, if I'm being honest, like building the NWO. And then I think, like, to go towards the indie scene, because we haven't shouted them out at all, and I gotta at least the Summer of Punk, man, like in ROH, that has to be one of the best angles that that ROH had ever done. I mean, it was so good that they repeated it again, like about 6 years later in WWE. At least they tried to. They did their own version of it, and it wasn't anywhere near as exciting. But I mean, I tell you, I feel like in a lot of ways, like that was a transitional time for Ring of Honor, but it allowed them to transition in a way where they still had like this huge storyline and this huge star in CM Punk, who everyone knew was leaving. They went in a different route than they had ever gone at that point, because at that point, Ring of Honor had lost plenty of guys to WWE contracts, and usually they just got a final farewell match. They got sent off like royalty, yada, yada, yada. This was the first time where everyone was expecting that, and then Punk won the belt. And then was like, but also fuck all you guys. I'm taking you with me to WWE. And it was an exciting time to be a Ring of Honor fan, so I have to include that on this list.
Interesting. All right.
Mike, you lived through that.
Yes, loved every minute of it.
Yes.
The good thing with this podcast I love, for me especially, is like all these events I did not see. I get to timestamp them here, and I get to look it back and see, okay, what's he talking about? And I look at it like, oh, okay, I get that. It's cool. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would do MVP, but MVP would be a spoiler. I'm not trying to do that. So maybe we should cancel MVPs this week. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, let's just cancel it.
Yeah.
Joe? I apologize for costing us the MVP.
It's okay. You know what? No. It's your birthday.
I see. I get this card once a year.
Anyway, so hope
next week. Card.
Exactly. Exactly. 37, old ass. I'm 40.
Feels it.
I'm 40. I'm 40 years old.
But I tell you what. But I also ran a mile the other day in 7 minutes and 53 seconds, so I'm not feeling quite that old yet.
Aha. There you go. So, all right, fellas. I guess we're done here, huh?
Okay.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
Adios.